Hello, welcome to the 46th episode of my podcast, Open Conversations. I am your host, Young Bellas Sabedwo. It's been some time since the last episode I've done. Um, I'm glad to be able to be back creating content and, doing what I do best, doing what I love to do, which is, just talk about, you know, basketball and just various topics and things of that nature. Uh, Today, I'm going to be talking just NBA. It's going to be my first podcast of, in regard to this NBA season. Um, so it's pretty loaded. I got a lot of different topics I want to be talking about that I think is pretty interesting, pretty cool. So um just to, as I usually do, just go right into my first topic. um MVP picks. So the season is about a quarter way in. um you know we've seen, the guys, for the most part, who's going to be, I guess, competing in this MVP conversation for the most part throughout the season. And my picks and for, this year, um are definitely some of your, you know, I guess usual picks that most guys would say is their picks, but I will go with and, and I don't even know if I want to use an order, but actually no order. I'm just gonna sound off, my teams that I think. I mean, it's not my sorry, my not my teams, but the players I think. So I got three guys. I got Shea. Shea's having a hell of a year. Um, the OKC Thunder's 23-1. He's been a leader of that. Number one record in the NBA. Much of that has been done without Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams just recently returned back on the team. And most of this has been done without Jalen Williams. And he's been unstoppable, averaging 30 plus. Just doing what he's been doing, these past couple seasons, um, and just dominating in a very cool, finesse, um, fashionable way, however you want to say. He's definitely, been one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player in the NBA over the past 3 or so years. His ability to get to the rim, finish with, any different styles, get to his spots, pull up jumpers, and even, the step back three that I think he's definitely been doing a lot recently that's been effective. Still getting guys involved. Um, he's just been just great, man. So yeah, Shea, obviously. Then you got Luca. Um, Luca has really, I think, just elevated his game even some more. You know what I'm saying? Averaging 35, 9 assists, 9 rebounds. Almost averaging 35, 10, and 10. I mean, that's just unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? And the Lakers is, a top four team in the West. Um, and I think actually number two in the West, 17-6. And they're Luca's been leading the way. Um, and he's just been dominating. And it just to me just this off season he really took his physical, being in physical shape, his health and all that very serious. And it shows, man. You see the elevation in his game, and just the mentality that he's approaching this season. I really love to see Luka doing what he's doing. And then obviously you got, of course, none other than Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Um, 29 a game, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, um, doing it all, making it look easy, doing it with high level of efficiency, um, you know, doing what he does, getting people involved, rebounding the ball at a high level, shooting 41% from the three-pointer, 61%, 61% from the field goal range. He's just Joker, just being the Joker, man, dominating guys. And currently, in terms of the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets is currently sitting at number 3. So um, this is a very tough battle, man. All of these guys is having phenomenal seasons. You hope to see them continue to play at this high level and keep on producing. So we got the top 4 NBA Western Conference contenders. Um, for me, I would go and say that this season thus far, my top 4 contenders in order. I'm gonna do in order. At number 4, I got the Timberwolves. Um, and Edwards, you know, he's still dominating, continuing to get better. He's averaging about 30 a night. Um, he's doing his thing. I think that he has, in a lot of ways, improved his game. Just scoring, uh, assisting. He's just, I think, just more experience, has helped his game out a lot. Then you got guys like Jaden McDaniels. He's been playing very well. Um, I think that Julius Randle has been playing very well. They're starting to incorporate Bones Highland a little bit, which I think is a really good thing for them. Um, if they can incorporate him in what they're doing, that would be very, very good for them. Because he's a really good player that doesn't get the I think opportunity that he should get. You still got guys like a Dante DiVincenzo, solid solid player. So Gobert, Nas Reed, Mike Conley. So this is a team that's been to the Western Conference back to back times, back to back years, and definitely has a good chance of doing that again this year, in my opinion. So then my other team for the contender number 3, I'm gonna go and put the Denver Nuggets. This is actually a better Denver Nuggets team than last year. Additions to was it Cam Johnson? Um, you got the addition of Hardaway Jr., You got the addition of Brown. So you add some players. I think even Valanciunas. So you add these guys on the team. Joker's been having a great year, of course. Jamal Murray's been, playing very well. Aaron Gordon. You got 3 guys who've had 50-point games this season. So that big 3, if you will, between Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Jokic is just, a ticking time bomb ready to explode. Any of those 3 guys, obviously they've shown they can get you 50 in a night. So that's not something that, you want to, constantly be like, oh my, you want to take lightly, right? And then you got the LA Lakers. They've really been playing really good basketball, even without LeBron James for most of the season. Luka, Austin Reeves has taken a major step in terms of his productivity, especially on the offensive end, averaging close to about 29 a night. Even, dishing it, averaging like 6, 7 assists a game. So it's not like he's, ball hogging or anything like that. Like he's been playing very well. And he's been a guy that has, in my opinion, been very, very efficient as well. Cause, he's averaging 28, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. And in terms of his field goal percentage, he's shooting 50% from the field, from field goal range, 37% from the 3-point range. So Austin Reeves has probably been the biggest factor for them, as well as DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton, from what I've seen, has been, somebody that's been a good pickup for them on that team. I think he fits well on that team, especially with, having guys like a Luka, a great passer, got LeBron on there, even Austin Reeves. So you got guys who can pass the ball. So somebody like a DeAndre Ayton is definitely going to be able to have some success on that team. And then you got some good role players, Rui, Gabe Vincent, so it's a really good team. But we'll see how things turn out for them, as the season, plays out. And then obviously number 1, OKC, those guys 23-1. Shea, MVP, Chet, All-Star this year. Jalen Williams, if he stays healthy, is going to be an all-star. You got Isaiah Joe. OKC, it's not even that, they're a good team. They have at least 10 to 11 guys that can get, play, come in, do work. Mitchell, I think he's a rookie. He's got game. Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, Hartenstein, Wiggins, these guys, solid guys that can come in and give you some good minutes off the bench, pick up some slack, in most games, Shea's not even playing the fourth quarter. So, you have, real big depth on that team. So, that rounds out my top 4 teams in terms of contenders for the championship in the West. So then we got the top 4 NBA Eastern Conference contenders. At number four, I got the Raptors. Brandon Ingram, he's healthy this year. He's been playing very well. Then you got Scotty Barnes playing very well. And then you just got some solid guys on that team that can come in, step in, and give you some good minutes. So the Raptors. Then I'm gonna go with the Celtics. The Celtics to me have a good chance. They've played very well without Jason Tatum. They're gonna be competitive regardless. Like they're gonna be very competitive. They're gonna be a competitive out. Jaylen Brown showing like, yo, I can be a franchise guy because he's been playing like that. Averaging about 29, 6, 5. He's been just lights out this year. Peyton Pritchard's a baller. White, you got Simons. They've had guys step up and they've been playing a lot better than I think a lot of people expecting them to play, being that Tatum's not playing currently. So definitely, I got the Celtics at 3. Then I got the Pistons. I got the Pistons currently. These guys, Cade has just been a baller doing his thing. Jalen Duren has just been a great complementary player to Cade. It's kind of like a Gary Payton, Sean Kempton that they got going on. They a very good dynamic duo that they got going on between those two guys. You still got Osar Thompson, Tobias Harris, Isaiah Stewart. These are some good solid players. Jaden Ivey. But do they have the depth when it comes playoff time to really get over the hump? We will definitely have to see about that. And then at number 1 for me, I'm going with the Knicks. Right now, I think Brunson's been playing phenomenal as he has been. 28-6. Karl Towns been doing his thing, of course. 22-12. And so you gotta have guys like the Josh Harts, the OG Ananobis, the Jordan Clarksons, to be able to, the Mikal Bridges to really step up. Will this experience from last year be the driving force for them to pretty much propel this year, elevate this year, and finally make it to the NBA Finals? I think they have a good chance. I think they have a really good chance to make it. I think they have a really good chance to take that step and get to that place. I think the play of Jordan Clarkson, his productivity is going to be very imperative. Right now, he's only averaging 10 points. I don't think that's enough for the Knicks if they really want to. He has to increase that, to at least 15. At least 15 a night, you know what I mean? And I think he's more than capable of that. He's definitely capable of that. This is a guy who's, averaged 20 a game, 20.8 with the Utah Jazz, as a 6-man. 17, 16. Right. These are, his ballpark ranges. He can come in New York and, as the season progresses and playoff time comes, he's starting to, elevate his game and showing, what he can do offensively. Knicks gonna be a problem, and they will definitely be my team to come out the Eastern Conference if they, if the player Jordan Clarkson, steps up. Sleeper team in the NBA Western Conference. I think my sleeper team would be the Utah Jazz. Um, Obviously, this is a young team, a developing team, but they got some really good, nice little young pieces. Markkinen, who's an all-star, having a great year. Um, I think earlier in the year, he was averaging about 30 a night, um, just going crazy. But I think now his average is about 27.6 and 6.5 rebounds, two assists. So it's slightly going down a little bit, but he's having a great year. Keontae George is a guy that I'm been a fan of in recent years. Been watching his game, and I think that he's a guy that has a really good future right now, averaging 22 and 7, 22 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Um, and then you got the young guy in Walter Clayton that they drafted. You still got Isaiah Collier. You have the young fella H. Bailey, who's going to be um, a talent for the future. Throughout the year, they're going to be probably battling for a play-in spot throughout the year, but nonetheless, night in, night out, this is a team that is going to be competing. That's going to be challenging to play against, and yeah. Sleeper team in the NBA Eastern Conference. My team would be the Atlanta Hawks. Um, Atlanta Hawks, I think, is definitely a sleeper team in terms of what they can do. They're right now the Hawks are ninth in the Eastern Conference at 14 and 11. They've been facing some injuries with Trae Young. Trae Young's been in and out of the lineup for the most part. But great thing has been that Jalen Johnson has been pretty much their best player, in my opinion, for this season thus far. He's been their best player, and he's been carrying the load and been doing really good, averaging 23, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. This is definitely an all-star, this season without question. You still got Zachary Researcher. This is his sophomore year in the league. 11 points a game, nothing too great, but just not solid. Nikhil Alexander Walker has been playing very well for them. That's in the real bright. So averaging 21 a game. Still got Porzingis. He's still a good player, averaging 19 a game. So this Hawks team, man, down the stretch, this isn't a team you want to compete against. You got Luke Kennard, Dyson Daniels, right? Averaging 11, 6, and 6. Solid, right? So, this is a nice team, man. And you bring back Trey. He gets back in the mix. This is a team that's going to be competing, and it's going to be a tough out. for teams, So that's my sleeper team of the East, in my opinion. Um, Standout players of this NBA season. So it's a list, it's a number of guys, man, in my opinion, that's having really good years, playing very well. First starting with Cade Cunningham, what he's been doing for the Detroit Pistons, man, putting up some pretty big numbers, averaging 28 a game, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. Um, you know, just been, just a dog. Um, he's been playing very well. Then, obviously got Shea doing what he's been doing, dominating, continuing to dominate every year, continuing that 20-point streak that he's been on. I don't know how long it's been, but it's a pretty long time. Shea averaging 33 a night, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Obviously Jokic, Nikola, 29, 11, 10, high efficiency, doing his thing. Then you got my guy over there in Philly, Tyrese Maxey. Man, he's having a breakout year. He's really been taking the load, since, the injury with, Embiid. Embiid has been struggling a little bit, hasn't, been able to kind of be the player that he's been in the past. But I think, you got to give him some time, to get his legs back, even though that's, part of what's been the issue with him has been his legs. But, you got to give him some grace. But Maxey, 32 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists a night. And then just doing it in all type of repertoires in terms of scoring the ball. He's been doing it, in every which way this season. Then you got to go Luka, 35, 9-9, number 2, and leading the Lakers number 2 team in the West. Just Luka Magic doing what he does, scoring any which way. Then you got Austin Reeves, who has really stepped his game up, averaging 28 and 7. Been just balling for days. He's really stepped his game up. He's somebody who I feel like has been a standout this far this season. And then you got to go with Wemby, averaging 26, 13, 4 assists a game. He's been having a hell of a year, averaging 4 blocks a night. I mean, it's just ridiculous what he's been doing. Shooting 50% from the field, 34% from 3-point. Alien, as they say, man, he's doing some very unprecedented things with his style of play. I think he is having a hell of a season. Then Josh Giddey from Chicago Bulls. He's another guy who's, flirting with a triple-double a night. I think his momentum the Bulls' momentum, they're 9-14. They dropped down to the 11th seed in the East. But, he's averaging nonetheless close to a triple-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists for Josh Giddey. He was a guy that I really didn't think was that good. Just being frank, when he was in OKC, I really didn't think he was that good, but he's clearly proven me wrong with his play. And I actually enjoy when people, I actually like when people prove me wrong with their play, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to Josh Giddey. That boy Sengun, that is really baby Jokic, man. That guy, Sengun he's a baller. He was a guy I didn't think was as good as advertised until I really started to pay attention to his game and seeing what he does and everything like that. Averaging 23 points a game, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. You know, he's been having a hell of a year for Houston, fourth seed in the West. He's been playing very well. And then lastly, you gotta go with that boy Giannis. That boy Giannis. I mean, it's been kind of like standard stats for what he's been doing over the past 4 or 5 years, and really almost his whole career. But he's doing what he does: 29, 10, 6 assists. Just dominating, doing what he does. So yeah, those are the standout guys for me this year. There's been a lot of great players this year, but as always, but these are some of the guys that have really, really made their mark thus far this season. Have really impressed me in their game, and yeah. NBA Rookie of the Year ladder. So I got I say in order. Wouldn't say I would put them in. Well, I'll put it in order, But right now, no, I'm not gonna put it in order. Just gonna round off a couple of guys that have really, been standouts to me this year. Rookies playing very well. Jeremiah Fierce for New Orleans Pelicans. He's been playing very well. 15 points a game, 4 assists. Seeing him play, man, he's a good young talent. Hopefully they can develop his game. Him and Queen. I think the Pelicans should for the future develop around these two guys. I think maybe trading Zion for some picks or some more young talent would be beneficial for them. But Fear's been playing very well. I really like him as a player. Then you got Knipple for the Charlotte Hornets. Been their best player when LaMelo's not playing. He's been their best player. And even some nights when, LaMelo's on the floor, Khan has been, he's some nights been the best player on the floor for Charlotte some nights. But he's been a baller, man. He's been a baller. I've seen him. I kind of thought he was overrated coming into, this coming into the league. But he's shown me he's a baller. Cedric Howard for the Grizzlies. He's had some good games. He's been balling. Then you got Dylan Harper for the Spurs. Man, him and Stephon Castle. Yeah. Trust me, I'm a big fan of De'Aaron Fox. I'm a big De'Aaron Fox guy. Love his game. Big fan of him as a player. But I think if I'm a GM, I'm making some moves for, the future in my roster. I think I trade De'Aaron for some picks or some young talent to bring in to pretty much build around Harper, Stephon, and Wemby. Those are your three core pieces for the future. If I'm the San Antonio Spurs, I'm building around those three guys. and I'm getting ready to trade of De'Aaron Fox. But Dylan Harper's been a baller. Like he's shown a lot of poise, a lot of maturity in his game. Um, he's a guy I think is gonna be really good in this league, and you know, he's a really good player. Then you got VJ Edgecombe from Philly was on a burner to earlier to really start out the year. He was on a burner. I think he had like 30 his first game or something like that. Um, he's been on a burner. He's gonna be a really good player, and as he develops and things of that nature, he's gonna be a killer in this league. And then Derek Queen, as I knew this kid was gonna be good back in Maryland because I seen him play, and I just felt like his game really fits the prototype big man of this day and age. Like he really fits that, stretch four, can handle it, can, pass, can score, can rebound, he really fit, I would say the Joker archetype, because that's kind of like the new archetype now, that point center, point forward type of player. Um, he's gonna be really good if he's put in the right positions to develop as a player. He's gonna be an all-star. He's gonna be a perennial all-star guy. He's gonna be a 20 and 10, maybe average like 7, 8 assists, if type guy. Like he's gonna be one of those type guys, a 20, 10, and maybe 6, 7 assist guy. He has that ability to me to be one of those type of players. He recently just had 30, 10, and 10, 33, 10, and 10. So that's just, 24, 25 games into his pro career. He's already having a 30, 30, 10, and 10 game. So this is, sight into the future, for Derek Queen, who I think is going to be a phenomenal player, and a guy that I think should be the guy that the Pelicans build a franchise around, moving forward. Because Zion, I'm a fan of Zion. I think Zion's a great player, a phenomenal talent, but in terms of his durability, being able to be on the court, it's been very, very challenging for him. Um, I think he's just unfortunate. He's been bit by the injury bug, you know, on so many occasions, so many times. And I think that it's been very detrimental for him as a player to develop and, get that, get his legs under him and stuff like that. And it's sad to see because he's a good kid. To me, I think he's a good kid. Um, good character kid, just, injury bug. And he's not a bust for anybody out there. How can a guy who makes 2 All-Stars be a bust? And, he's a hell of a talent, hell of a player. It's just, he hasn't been able to, manage his durability. And so, you know, the greatest ability is availability, as they say, right? So yeah, Derek Queen, great talent, great future. And then lastly, Cooper Flag. I seen him, you know, I saw his he had the game, I think it was his second game in the summer league. It's like his guy has a talent to be a really good player. He's been playing very well, multiple 20-point games. Um, really showing the different, you know, moves that he can do off the dribble and all that. He's been balling, doing this thing. He's gonna be a really good talent in this league. This is a really good draft class. I think this is a draft class that has a chance to be um, one of the more standout draft classes in the next 5-6 years. This is gonna be probably the best draft class since 2020. Um, 2020, 2021 was pretty good. 2018, 2017. This is gonna be up there. This 2025 draft class. So um, yeah, that's those are all the different rookies that I feel like have stood out to me. So yeah, man, that concludes this episode, man. I appreciate y'all for checking me out and listen to what I gotta say, and my opinions. Uh, in regard to this season, it's definitely gonna be more content coming soon. And yeah, peace out. Much love to y'all.